Not long ago, I met an American couple at Panama Airport. They had sold their house in Florida, brought 2 suitcases, and said, "We're tired of taxes, of electricity bills, of endless payments. Now we just want to live somewhere that speaks English, has sunshine, and a government that doesn't reach into our pockets." They were flying to Belize. It sounds crazy, but they are not the only ones. More and more Americans are leaving home to find English-speaking countries with zero taxes, where you can live comfortably at a fraction of the cost in the U.S. and still speak your familiar language every day. From Belize on the Caribbean coast, Dominica lush with rainforest, Malta ancient in the heart of Europe, to the luxurious and safe Bahamas and Gibraltar. These places are quietly becoming the real-life havens for the financially smart. And today, you'll see why those who once thought life is only good in America are now smiling brightly under the golden sun of these tax-free countries. Stay until the end, where I'll reveal the most livable country for English speakers seeking true financial freedom in retirement. Dream it. Pack it. Go. 5. Belize, the English-speaking paradise where the dollar smiles. There are places whose names instantly make you picture blue seas and sunshine. But Belize is more than a beach. It's a feeling. A place where you step off the plane, hear the taxi driver greet you with, "Good morning, sir," and suddenly realize you've left the United States. But the language is still the same. Everything feels strangely familiar. You don't need to learn another language. You don't have to worry about communication barriers. You can order coffee, ask for house prices, or open a bank account all in the language you've spoken your entire life. Belize is the only country in Central America where English is the official language. And that's why many Americans come here and feel like they've found their own tropical hometown. But Belize doesn't just speak English. It speaks the language every retiree understands, the language of financial freedom. Here, the concept of income tax almost doesn't exist for foreigners. The government of Belize applies a territorial tax system, meaning they only tax the money you earn within Belize's borders. If you receive a pension, investments, or own assets in the US, Canada, or anywhere else, Belize doesn't require you to pay anything extra. No foreign income tax, no capital gains tax, no inheritance tax. And when people ask, "Why did you choose Belize?" many simply smile and reply, "Because the IRS doesn't have an office here." Furthermore, Belize opens a legal door for foreigners through the Qualified Retirement Program, QRP, a residency model that many experts call the Caribbean dream of the American middle class. You only need to prove a minimum monthly income of $2,000 from sources outside Belize, and you'll be granted long-term residency, full exemption from foreign income tax, and even duty-free import for one car, personal boat, or household furnishings. The government asks just one thing: stay at least 30 days per year to remember that you truly live here. No need to invest hundreds of thousands. No need to apply for citizenship. All you need is a stable retirement income and a desire for a simpler life. The cost of living in Belize also surprises many people. In areas like Corozal, San Ignacio, or Hopkins, you can rent a bright apartment near the beach for just $400 to $600 per month. Food, utilities, internet, and even a few cafe visits each week all fit comfortably within $100 to $500 per month. In places like Ambergris Caye, prices may be higher, but you're paying for Caribbean sunrises and the feeling that every day is a holiday. Belize maintains a fixed exchange rate of 2 Belize dollars, $1, so you'll never worry about conversion or inflation. The currency here is stable, simple, and as friendly as the people themselves. Belize has something many other countries have lost: time. People are not in a hurry. They don't talk while staring at their watches. They walk slowly, smile slowly, live slowly. You'll see old men lying in hammocks reading newspapers, small shop owners chatting with customers, and foreigners who have lived here for 10 years, but still look like they retired just yesterday. They come from everywhere: Florida, Texas, Toronto, but they all share one story. They once chased the rush of life until they realized that happiness is cheaper than they thought. The healthcare system in Belize is good enough for basic needs, with the National Hospital in Belize City and modern medical centers in Belmopan and Placencia. Foreigners often combine international health insurance to go to Mexico for major surgeries, but in most cases, they feel comfortable with local services. As for safety, Belize has areas to avoid, just like anywhere else in the world, but expat zones like Placencia, Kai Kalker, or Hopkins are very friendly, with tourist police and strong foreigner support communities. There, neighbors know each other's names, and you'll quickly get used to being greeted with "morning, brother," while walking down the street. Economically, Belize is small but steady. The government maintains a policy of tying its currency closely to the US dollar, which keeps prices stable and inflation low. Tourism, agriculture, and fisheries are the main pillars, creating a calm environment. No fierce competition, no major fluctuations. Belize doesn't promise wealth, but it offers the quiet security of an economy that is sufficient and genuine. And then there is nature, the part where words always feel powerless to describe. Belize is a map of green. Dense jungles stretch to the west, giant coral reefs rest to the east, and in between are small villages where time seems to have forgotten to move. The Great Blue Hole, the legendary blue abyss in the ocean, lies still like a giant eye gazing at the sky, reminding you that some things are so beautiful they should only be admired, not explained. But every paradise has its rainy season. Belize is not exempt from Caribbean storms. Each year, from June to November, strong winds and high waves are something to be prepared for. Infrastructure in remote areas is still weak. Electricity can be unstable, and the internet is not as fast as you might hope. Yet when the storm passes, people gather to repair roofs, share fruit and cold beer, then laugh. We're still here. Perhaps that is Belize's true strength, a place that doesn't just live beautifully on sunny days, but also knows how to stand firm after the storm. If there is a place that makes you realize retirement is not an ending, but a new beginning, it is Belize. Because sometimes, freedom isn't about how much money you have, but about no one asking how much you owe. And if you want to discover other places even more secret than this, hit like and subscribe, because the world's most livable destinations for smart people are only beginning to be revealed. 4. Dominica, the green island where people outlive the storms. In 2017, a man named Robert Quinn, 64, left the state of Oregon with a small backpack and a few family photos. He had worked as an electrical engineer, spending his whole life calculating every number, until one day he realized there was one thing he had never calculated: peace. After Hurricane Maria swept through the Caribbean, Dominica appeared on the news in heartbreaking images: collapsed houses, broken trees. But people were still standing among the ruins, smiling and saying, "We will rebuild." Robert couldn't understand how anyone could stay so calm. 6 months later, he came to Dominica to see it for himself. And then, he stayed. Dominica is not an island for those seeking noise. Here, English is the official language, but people speak it with a warm, soft tone like the breeze. You'll hear "good afternoon" echoing from every little alley, and no one seems to be in a rush. They call this place the Nature Isle, the island of nature, because 60% of its territory is covered by untouched rainforest. Rivers, waterfalls, tropical jungles, all blend together into a green symphony that makes you feel small and at peace at the same time. But behind that serenity lies a wise financial policy that makes Dominica one of the most attractive destinations for retirees and investors. Here, you don't pay inheritance tax, property tax, or capital gains tax. And if you don't earn income within the island, the government doesn't care about the money you transfer from abroad. Everything is simple, transparent, and as gentle as the rhythm of local life. No tax documents thicker than a dictionary. No questions like, "What's the source of your funds?" Dominica understands that people come here not to earn more, but to live with less. The government also created the Citizenship by Investment (CBI) program, a legal, transparent, and fast pathway to becoming a citizen. With an investment of around $100,000 USD in the development fund or real estate, you can obtain a Dominican passport, enjoy visa-free access to more than 140 countries, and more importantly, earn the right to call this place home. No residency requirement, no obligation to live full-time, only your willingness to belong. Robert chose to buy a small house overlooking the sea, and now he lives on $1,000 a month, growing vegetables, fishing, and watching the sun set behind the coconut trees every evening. In Oregon, I lived to pay bills. Here, I just have to remember to water the plants, he said. The cost of living in Dominica truly makes many people rub their eyes to check again. You can rent an apartment right in the center of Roseau for just $350 USD per month and live comfortably on less than $1,000 USD. Fresh food is cheap, utilities are stable, and the internet is fast enough to video call your grandchildren. Locals love to grow, pick, and fish for themselves. That self-sufficient feeling makes life simple and sustainable. Healthcare in Dominica has its limits, but the care does not. Here, doctors still call patients by name, not by file number. They don't have big hospitals like in the US, but there are small clinics that stay lit all night. For serious cases, people often fly to Barbados or St. Lucia, less than an hour away. But interestingly, Dominica's average life expectancy is higher than that of many developed countries. Perhaps the secret isn't in the medical equipment, but in how they live slowly and truly breathe. Dominica's economy is small but healthy. Organic farming, ecotourism, and agricultural exports are the three main pillars. The government uses revenue from the Citizenship Investment Program to rebuild houses, improve infrastructure, and develop clean energy. Dominica aims to become a 100% green renewable energy nation by 2030. While many countries argue about climate change, they quietly take action, replanting forests, building wind turbines, and preserving natural hot springs. Safety here is most clearly felt when you leave your wallet on the table and come back 15 minutes later. It's still there. Dominicans hold a simple belief. If you respect nature and people, they will protect you. There are no iron fences around houses, no surveillance cameras everywhere, yet there is a strange sense of peace in everyone's eyes. Of course, Dominica isn't perfect. The island's biggest drawback is natural disasters. The hurricane season, from June to November, can be harsh, and in unlucky years, a storm can take away entire roofs. But the miracle is that in Dominica, people are not afraid of storms. They live with them, rebuild their homes, replant trees, and keep smiling. It's not carelessness, it's resilience. Robert once said, "A storm can break walls, but it can't take away the peace I've found here. So if you're looking for a place where your bank balance matters less than the quality of your mornings, where English is still spoken, and where you can live comfortably on your pension and still be called neighbor, then Dominica is your answer. A place where trees grow back after storms, and strangely enough, so do people. Because sometimes what you need isn't a new paradise, but a place quiet enough to realize you've already had paradise in your heart. If you're thinking, are there other English-speaking, tax-free places like this? Leave a comment, yes. Like and subscribe to continue the journey. 3. Malta. The English-speaking oasis in the heart of the Mediterranean. On a summer afternoon in Valletta, the sun glitters over golden rooftops, and every narrow street seems to melt in the light. A man stands by the harbor, looking down at the crystal-clear blue water where red and green painted boats sway gently. His name is Michael, 58 years old, from New Jersey, a man who once swore he would never leave America. Yet now he's in Malta, sitting in an old cafe overlooking the sea, sipping espresso and telling the owner in English, "It feels like home, only better." Malta has an advantage few countries can match: the language and laws of Britain, but the climate and lifestyle of the Mediterranean. As a former British colony for nearly 200 years, Malta has kept English as an official language alongside Maltese. 90% of the population speaks English fluently, from shopkeepers to government employees. That's why thousands of Americans, Canadians, and Brits choose Malta for retirement. You can live in the heart of old Europe without learning any new language. But language is only the beginning. What makes Malta truly attractive is its flexible tax system and incentives for foreigners. The country taxes based on the remittance basis principle, meaning it only taxes the income you bring into Malta. If you keep your money, pension, or investments abroad and don't transfer them in, you owe nothing. Through the Malta Retirement Program, MRP, foreign retirees can apply for long-term residency and pay only 15% tax on income remitted to Malta, with a minimum tax of €7,500 per year. Simply put, you can live in a safe European country within the Schengen zone and almost pay no taxes if you know how to manage your finances smartly. Malta is also a little paradise for the financially savvy. International entrepreneurs who open companies here face an effective tax rate of only about 5%, thanks to a special refund mechanism. Despite its small size, the country ranks among the world's top 30 for safety and healthcare quality, offering modern hospitals, English-speaking doctors, and globally accepted health insurance. The cost of living in Malta isn't dirt cheap, but it's still much lower than in the UK or the US. A single person can live comfortably on about $800 to $2,000 a month, covering rent, food, and basic expenses. Areas like Gozo and Sliema are the most popular, one a quiet seaside retreat, the other lively like a mini Paris. Malta isn't just a country, it's an open-air museum. The old city of Valletta is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with golden limestone buildings, cobbled streets, and fortresses overlooking the sea. In spring, the wind carries the scent of salt and church bells. In summer, you can sail to Camino Island and swim in the Blue Lagoon, waters so vividly blue, they almost don't look real. Malta's economy is small but strong. It relies on tourism, finance, technology, and international education. The government invests heavily in clean energy and healthcare services. The euro is the official currency, and Malta maintains a high credit rating, keeping its currency stable and healthcare and food costs predictable. However, even paradise has its cracks. Malta's biggest drawbacks are housing costs and population density. This tiny island nation covers just over 300 square kilometers, but is home to more than 500,000 people. During tourist season, everything feels crowded. Traffic jams, rising rents, packed streets. Those seeking peace often move to the island of Gozo, where time seems to flow slower and the sea breeze feels cooler. If you ever thought it was impossible to find a place that speaks English, belongs to the European Union, and is nearly tax-free, Malta will make you rethink everything. Because sometimes paradise isn't hidden in a faraway ocean, but right in the heart of Europe, where every morning opens like a golden page of sunlight. Comment number 3 if you'd like to set foot here. 2. The Bahamas. The tax-free paradise, just a breath away from America. There are places you visit for vacation, and there are places you go to start over. The Bahamas is both. Just over an hour's flight from Miami, this island nation unfolds like a turquoise dream, where the water is so clear, it feels like you're floating between sky and sea, and all worries about taxes drift away with the Atlantic breeze. Here, there's no income tax, no corporate tax, no capital gains tax, and no inheritance tax. The government runs on consumption taxes and import duties. It doesn't touch personal income. You can receive pensions or investments from anywhere in the world. The Bahamas doesn't ask, doesn't calculate, doesn't collect. For Americans tired of the IRS, this is the closest, most legal financial paradise to home. Residency in the Bahamas is easier than you think. Buying or investing in real estate starting from $300,000 qualifies you for long-term residency. With a higher investment, you can get permanent residency within just a few months. You don't have to live there full-time. Staying 6 months per year is enough to be recognized as a Bahamian tax resident and enjoy the full zero tax policy. The official language is English, spoken with a warm Caribbean rhythm. Locals are friendly, life is unhurried, no one rushes anywhere. Every morning, they drink coffee by the sea. Every evening, they fish together or listen to reggae before sunset. You arrive for a few days, but it feels like you've known everyone forever. The cost of living is higher than on other islands, around $2,500 to $3,000 per month, because most goods are imported. But in return, you get stable electricity, fast internet, British American standard hospitals, and quality international services. Nassau, Freeport, and Paradise Island all have large expat communities where American retirees live comfortably, safely, and only a coffee cup flight away from Florida. The only downsides are the high prices and strong hurricane season. But if you've spent your whole life working just to find a place with sun, sea, and peace, this might be the perfect stop. In the Bahamas, people don't count how much tax they owe. They count how many times they smile each day. If you want to know which other English-speaking countries are also zero tax, hit like, subscribe, and join the next part. Because paradise is never just one place. 1. Gibraltar. The secret paradise of the wealthy, where English echoes under the Mediterranean sky. Can you believe it? There's a place no bigger than a New York neighborhood, yet it's the hideaway of Europe's millionaires. Here, no one pays high income tax. There's no capital gains tax, no property tax, and people speak English like in London. But the sun is as warm as Santorini's. A tiny strip of land between Spain and Morocco, surrounded by blue sea and million-dollar yachts, where you can eat fresh fish, sip Mediterranean wine, and still live under British law. That's Gibraltar, a land as small as a gem, yet glowing bright on the world's financial map. Here, Taxes are designed as if made for those who understand the value of every dollar. No VAT, no inheritance tax, no capital gains tax. If you're a foreign resident with assets over $2 million, the Category 2 residency program allows you to pay a fixed annual tax of around $37,000, no matter how much you earn. A small price to pay for a lifetime of financial freedom. Life in Gibraltar is both luxurious and safe. The cost of living is high but still lower than in most major financial centers. A single person can live comfortably on $2,800 and $3,200 per month. The police are friendly, healthcare meets British standards, the currency is stable, and the air is so clean that you can take a morning walk along the harbor, swim at noon, and drive to Spain in just 10 minutes. Locals like to joke, we have British passports, Spanish sunshine, and a lifestyle that blends both. Of course, every paradise comes with a price. Gibraltar is small, land is scarce, and housing is expensive. But in return, you gain something money can't buy in many other places: absolute peace of mind. If you've ever dreamed of a place that's English-speaking, tax-free, safe, and warm all year round, then Gibraltar is the unexpected answer. You see, the world still has places that speak English, have no taxes, and are peaceful enough for you to truly slow down. There, your money stretches further, and every morning is no longer a race but a gift. Because retirement isn't about stopping, it's about choosing where life is worth living. If you want to keep exploring such paradises, hit like, subscribe, and keep searching for the place where your true freedom belongs.